Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmat Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Untitled Chapter Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmat Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Untitled Chapter Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmat Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Jagar Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Vyas Puja Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Tadiya Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Untitled Chapter Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmat Śrīla Gour Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Untitled Chapter Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai. Untitled Chapter Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Shugana Shraddha Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Surup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Braja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Vedanta Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Mona Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Let me just share my screen. All right. So I'm just gonna, okay, I'll do a quick Mangacharan. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. Guruve Guru Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. All right, so yesterday we read about meditation on the individual dhyan. We're going through all the different processes, all the different angas of Ashtanga Yoga, all the different limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, and we made it up to dhyan. And in dhyan, there's meditation on the individual limbs of the Lord. We read about the meditation on the Lord's lotus feet and the characteristics and the effect of meditating on it, and of below the knees, the calves of the Lord, the thighs, the hips, navel, nipples, chest, neck, arms, club, garland, pearl necklace, and we made it up to the lotus face. So I'm just going to finish this. We'll go lotus face, the eyes, his glance, his smile, eyebrows, and laughter. And then we'll read some articles about Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura. But it looks like there isn't even anybody watching. Anyhow, what to do? Okay, by the time I'm finished reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, these Bhagavatam verses, if there isn't anybody watching, then I'll just end the video because I have other things to do also. So, okay. Yachri Niketam Alivi Parisevamanam Bhutya Swaya Kutila Kuntala Vrinda Jushtam Meena Dvaya Shayamadhi Adhikshipara Janetram Dhyaye Manomaya Matantrita Ulasadhu. The yogi then meditates upon the beautiful face of the Lord, which is adorned with curly hair and decorated by lotus-like eyes and dancing eyebrows. A lotus surrounded by swarming bees and a pair of swimming fish would be put to shame by its elegance. One important statement here is dhyayen manomayam. Manomayam is not imagination. Impersonalists think that the yogi can imagine any form he likes, but as stated here, the yogi must meditate upon the form of the Lord which is experienced by devotees. Devotees never imagine a form of the Lord. They are not satisfied by something imaginary. The Lord has different eternal forms. Each devotee likes a particular form and thus engages himself in the service of the Lord by worshipping that form. The Lord's form is depicted in different ways according to the scriptures. As already discussed, there are 8 kinds of representations of the original form of the Lord. These representations can be produced by the use of clay, stone, wood, paint, sand, etc., depending on the resources of the devotee. Manomayam is a carving of the form of the Lord within the mind. This is included as one of the 8 different carvings of the form of the Lord. It is not imagination. Meditation on the actual form of the Lord may be manifested in different manners, but one should not conclude that one has to imagine a form. There are 2 comparisons in this verse. First, the Lord's face is compared to a lotus, and then his black hair is compared to humming bees swarming around a lotus. His 2 eyes are compared to 2 fish swimming about. A lotus flower on the water is very beautiful when surrounded by humming bees and fish. The Lord's face is self-sufficient and complete. His beauty defies the natural beauty of a lotus. Tasyavalokamadikam kripayati ghora tapatrayopashamanaya nishishtamakshna snehtasmithanugunitam vipula prasadam dhyayachchiram vipula bhavanaya guhayam. The yogi should contemplate with full devotion the compassionate glances frequently cast by the Lord's eyes, for they soothe the most fearful threefold agonies of his devotees. His glances, accompanied by loving smiles, are full of abundant grace. Purport. As long as one is in conditional life, in the material body, it is natural that he will suffer from anxieties and agonies. One cannot avoid the influence of material energy, even when one is on the transcendental plane. Sometimes disturbances come, but the agonies and anxieties of the devotee are at once mitigated when they think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his beautiful form or the smiling face of the Lord. The Lord bestows innumerable favors upon his devotee, and the greatest manifestation of his grace is his smiling face, which is full of compassion for his pure devotees. Asam Hare Avanatta Kila Loka Tevra Shoka Shusagara Vishoshanamatyudharam Samohanaya Rachitam Nijamaya Yasya Brumandala Munikrite Makaradhvajasya. A yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of Lord Sri Hari, a smile which, for all those who bow to him, dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. The yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency in order to charm the sex god for the good of the sages. Purport. The entire universe is full of miseries, and therefore the inhabitants of this material universe are always shedding tears out of intense grief. There is a great ocean of water made from such tears, but for one who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ocean of tears is at once dried up. One need only see the charming smile of the Supreme Lord. In other words, the bereavement of material existence immediately subsides when one sees the charming smile of the Lord. It is stated in this verse that the charming eyebrows of the Lord are so fascinating that they cause one to forget the charms of sense attraction. The conditioned souls are shackled to material existence because they are captivated by the charms of sense gratification, especially sex life. The sex god is called Mahārāja. The charming brows of the Supreme Personality of Godhead protects the sages and devotees from being charmed by the material lust and sex attraction. Yamunacharya, a great acharya, said that ever since he had seen the charming pastimes of the Lord, the charms of sex life had become abominable for him, and the mere thought of sex enjoyment would cause him to spit and turn his face. Thus, if anyone wants to be aloof from sex attraction, he must see the charming smile and fascinating eyebrows of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhyanāyanam prahasitam bahula dharoshta bhasarunayita tanu tijakunda pankti dhyayet svadeha kuhare vasitasya vishnur bhaktartrayarpita manana pritagdidrikshet. With devotion steeped in love and affection, the yogi should meditate within the core of his heart upon the laughter of Lord Vishnu. The laughter of Vishnu is so captivating that it can be easily meditated upon. When the Supreme Lord is laughing, one can see his small teeth, which resemble jasmine buds rendered rosy by the splendor of his lips. Once devoting his mind to this, the yogi should no longer desire to see anything else. Purport. It is recommended that the yogi visualize the laughter of the Lord after studying his smile very carefully. These particular descriptions of meditation on the smile, laughter, face, lips, and teeth all indicate conclusively that God is not impersonal. It is described herein that one should meditate on the laughter of the smiling of Vishnu. There is no other activity that can completely cleanse the heart of the devotee. The exceptional beauty and laughter of Lord Vishnu is that when he smiles, his small teeth, which resemble the buds of jasmine flowers, at once become reddish, reflecting his rosy lips. If the yogi is able to place the beautiful face of the Lord in the core of his heart, he will be completely satisfied. In other words, when one is absorbed in seeing the beauty of the Lord within himself, the material attraction can no longer disturb him. All right, so we're just reading a little bit today, just up to there. So that, okay, great, there are people here now. So I just read a little bit so that we continue our flow of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. And now I will read about the glories of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura. We're going to read articles by him and articles about him. And I wanted to read something by Srila Govinda Gosvāmī Mahārāja also. So, okay, this is a really good article, really important one by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura. The first one we're going to read is Only Hear from Sri Guru. Yeah, this one. Here it is. Only Hear from Sri Guru by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura Prabhupada. I think I've read this once before on here, but anyways, I'm reading it again. On Wednesday, 16 December 1930, in the late evening, the renowned landlorder of Nadia district, Shri Nafara Chandra Pala Chaudhary, known by the title Bhakti Bhushan, arrived at the Bhajan Mandir of Srila Prabhupada at the Sri Gaudiya Math, situated at number 1 Ulta Dingi Junction Road, Kolkata. Shri Nafara Chandra was a contemporary of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and was the executive officer for the committee of Sri Navadip Dham Pracharini Sabha, the association for the widespread acclaim of Sri Navadip Dham. For quite a few days, he had regularly come to Sri Śrīla Prabhupada to hear Hari Katha from him. These were the questions he asked. Nafara Babu. Before, when Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur was present, I saw that practically every year in Sri Mayapur, during the birth festival of Sriman Mahaprabhu, performance artists like Ganesh Kirtaniya used to sing Leela Kirtan, theatrical songs that depict the pastimes of Shri Shri Radha Krishna. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur had no objection to it. If it is true that Mahajano Yena Gata Sampanta, one should follow the footsteps of the Mahajans, then why do you object to hearing Leela Kirtan? Srila Prabhupada. I do not object to Shravan, hearing, and Kirtan, chanting of the pastimes of Sri Hari. Indeed, the pastimes of Sri Hari are the only subjects that should be heard and chanted, for only then can the conditioned souls be relieved of their addiction to hearing and chanting about their own heroic deeds or about other ordinary mundane topics. Apart from this, there is no other remedy. Then why do you not permit Leela Kirtans like Purvarag, the escalating of love before the first meeting, or the Kirtans of the Padavali singers to be arranged here at the Gaudiya Math or in Mayapur? Srila Prabhupada. There is a distinction between Leela Kirtan and Kirtan in relation to Shringar Ras, transcendental amour. Jivas who are full of anarthas can perform Shravan and Kirtan of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or of the childhood pastimes of Sri Krishna. But if they try to hear or sing Kirtan in relation to the pastimes of Shringar Ras, it will do their spiritual life more harm than good. Nafara Babu. But at least the devotees can engage in hearing and singing about it. What is objectionable in that? Srila Prabhupada. But who will distinguish the devotees from the non-devotees? And why would devotees subordinately accept the rulings of materialists in assessing and determining who is and who is not a devotee? Devotees will themselves engage in kirtan. Why would they mix with the society of non-devotees and go to hear the kirtan of a hired performance artist? Kirtan should be heard exclusively from the lips of Sri Gurudev. Genuine devotees reflect, I will never listen to any kirtan apart from the kirtan emanating from the lotus lips of Srila Gurudev. That is to say, I will only listen to the Sri Bhagavat Katha that once manifested from the lotus lips of Srila Shukadev Gosvāmī and to the Sankirtan prescribed and performed by Sri Gour Hari. In other words, Sri Rupanuga Sankirtan, which are received through the Shrota Parampara. The Shrota Parampara refers to the succession of authentic spiritual masters through which the message of Godhead is transmitted by means of oral reception. Genuine devotees of Bhagavan never listen to any other kirtan, especially kirtan performed by hired performance artists, professional consorts, ennoble women, businessmen, materialists, or the public performances organized by Panjamishali and Bharoyari groups. We should only hear kirtan from those who have the same spiritual aspirations as we do, whose hearts are inclined toward Bhagavan with the same special mood as our own, and who are more advanced than we are. One will never attain any spiritual benefit by hearing kirtan from a worldly materialist who just wants to acquire wealth, women, and recognition. Nafara Babu. Just checking everything is okay. Okay, yes. Nafara Babu. But Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur did listen to and organize professional kirtan performances. So were his actions the antithesis of bhakti? Srila Prabhupada. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur never ever listened to kirtan sung by professionals, materialists, debauchees, or wanton women. A trained female elephant may be employed to capture a wild male elephant. and thereafter to relieve him of his madness. In the same fashion, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur was merely using cleverness to gradually rescue common men from their intoxicated stupor, men who are grossly absorbed in transient material pursuits and hence fond of fleeting fashions of society. If those who have become addicted to hearing such songs happen to visit Sri Mayapur on account of heeding the dictates of their own greed, then by the influence of the holy Dham and by the strength of associating with sadhus, they may gradually attain spiritual welfare. By unknowingly rendering some service to Sri Gour Hari's holy Dham, a powerful semblance of devotion may arise in their hearts. If those who are completely addicted to hearing such songs do not get to hear the music that is nectar to their ears, they may remain totally averse to visiting the Dham and will thus be deprived of the fortune of listening to the Harikatha of the sadhus. It was solely with this consideration that Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur had employed such tactics. This is truly a sign of his mercy. To those upon whom he bestowed his genuine mercy, he specifically cautioned from the very beginning never to hear the melodic songs of mundane professional singers. He used to warn me, "Beware, you should not go to that side. You should never ever listen to Harikatha from the mouth of a professional speaker, from a mundane woman or from a non-devotee. You should never listen to any katha apart from the Harikatha emanating from the lotus mouth of Srila Gurudev." Nafara Babu. Then did he used to preach in two different ways? One for his internal associates, Antaranga, and another for outsiders, Bahiranga? Srila Prabhupada. There is no such imposed division between Antaranga and Bahiranga. Those who with their life and soul have accepted and will continue to accept his genuine mercy and unpalatably strong words of truth will alone be able to become Antaranga. Those who have accepted or will continue to accept their own sense gratification or transient comforts will remain Bahiranga. In the magazine Sri Sajantoshani and books like Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita and Sri Jaiva Dharma, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur has addressed the subject of hearing Ras Kirtan in length. In his article entitled Sri Bhaktisiddhānta Virudh and Rasa Bhas, which was published in Sri Sajantoshani, Volume 6, Issue 2, and which you may have previously read, he wrote, "There is no place for Bhakti Virudh Siddhanta or Rasa Bhas in the statements of a Mahārāja, a renowned spiritual authority. A singer who is arasagya, not conversant in the science of rasa tattva, while combining syllables may haphazardly compose something that is rasa bhas and contrary to the principles of devotion. The philosophical conclusions of Vaishnavism are extremely profound. Those who have deliberated upon pure Vaishnava Dharma for a long time in the association of sadhus will definitely be free from opposing Siddhanta. But for those who perform Lila Kirtans, professionally, But those who perform Lila Kirtans professionally never associate with genuine sadhus, nor are they conversant with the Siddhanta of Vaishnavas, so their words hurt the Vaishnav's ears as much as the fiercest thunder. Within this topic, there is another grave point to consider. Singing and listening to the Shringar Lila of Shri Shri Radha Govinda is the topmost form of worship, and it constitutes Nitya Bhajan, eternal perfected internal service. It is improper and offensive to sing such bhajan lila in front of common people. If we listen to rasa gan, songs about the most private matters of ras, from the mouths of professional singers who are womanizers and hungry for worldly recognition, we dishonor our previous acharya's statement, apana bhajana kata na kahibe jata tata. Do not give an open account of your personal bhajan just anywhere. From Prem Bhakti Chandrika. And thus we commit a terrible offense. Whenever there is a gathering of people with varying degrees of spiritual qualification, it is appropriate to chant Harinam and to sing humble prayers, prarthana, and narrations of pastimes that pertain to the transcendental moods of Dasya Ras, that is, the mood of a loving servant of the Supreme Lord. Only when everyone present in the gathering is pure and exclusively devoted Vaishnavas established in the art of relishing ras, Shuddha Rasik Vaishnav, may they listen to the most elevated rasagan. At that time, they may experience the ecstasies of their own perfected internal service in accordance with their intrinsic spiritual form. Yet, even by this strict prohibition, even if by this strict prohibition the tradition of Rasgan ceases to exist, then let it be so, for even in that there will be welfare for the Vaishnavas. To allow elevated Rasgan to be performed openly here and there by those whose sole aim is to collect money and gratify their senses is no less than the act of Kali. Nafara Babu. Then is it that Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura did not himself follow what he preached to others? When did he not object to the performance of Ras Kirtan by professional singers at Sri Mayapur? When he did not object to the performances of Ras Kirtan by professional singers at Mayapur, and in fact encouraged it, then did his preaching and his actions not contradict each other? Srila Prabhupada. After some time, my contemporaries might also talk about me along the same lines. Some people think that just because I do not object to or directly oppose various things, it implies that I agree with them. Such people will only be deprived, for in reality, I have some other profound objective. Srimad Bhagavatartanam Ashvado Rasikai Saha Sajatiya Shayes Negde Sadho Sangha Svato Vare. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. A practicing devotee should relish the deep meanings of Srimad Bhagavatam in the company of Rasik Vaishnavas, associating in this way with elevated Vaishnav saints who have spiritual aspirations similar to his own and who are affectionately disposed towards him, is the greatest thing he can do for himself. Those who are concerned about their own spiritual welfare should always remember this verse composed by Srila Rupa Gosvāmī. If someone can help me achieve my objective in totality, only then will I approach him. If I want to become wealthy, I will approach someone wealthier than myself. If I were to approach a poor man or one less wealthy than I, he would surely want to siphon from my wealth and gradually make me penniless. We should only hear Hari Katha from those who have bound Sri Hari with the ropes of their love so tightly that he can never escape from their hearts, and who are 100% absorbed in rendering loving service to him. Hari Katha should only be heard from Srila Gurudev. One should never hear from Laghu. The word Guru literally means heavy, grave, or immovable. Its antonym is Laghu, which means light, superficial, or whimsical. Only those who have truly accomplished Shravan, hearing, of Hari Katha, can subsequently engage in genuine kirtan, just as sons only become fathers, siring sons of their own in their maturity. Therefore, one should not hear Hari Katha from those who have not realized the topics of Hari Katha that they try to speak about, and who have been unable to assimilate those topics or follow their own lives. If, first of all, I myself am unable to completely assimilate and follow the topics of Hari Katha, and then after that I take advice from someone who is equally unqualified, I will be inviting greater trouble. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī used to organize professional song performances for unworthy, fashionable men, but those performances were by no means the final objective he cherished. He fostered the hope that his so-called relatives and all others would secure the same immense benefit as he had by serving Srimad Mahaprabhu. To the public, he appeared to be like a common man of this world. So considering the eligibilities of all these people, he implemented various strategies to attract them to the lotus feet of Srimad Mahaprabhu. But his instructions to me were, never listen to Hari Katha from someone who is not practicing its teachings himself. If your own practices are lacking, then do not jump to preach Hari Katha. Preach to yourself behind closed doors. In order to truly discern the spiritual practices of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Ṭhākura, one must have the right kind of vision. Many have feigned close association with him, but in spite of seeing and hearing his personal practices, his achar, and his preaching, prachar, they could not truly see or hear anything about him. Nafara Babu. The very prohibitions he gave you, he also warned me about in the same manner. Srila Prabhupada. The only reason I mingle with others is because of his instructions to me. I tell people, you should hear Harikatha at every moment. If someone says, but my son, this is so strong, but my son is on the verge of death, then I reply, even if your son is about to die, let him. You should listen to Harikatha. One has to overcome feebleness of mind. The mind which is bent on material sense gratification must be diverted towards Sri Krishna. Whatever is already fixed in one's destiny will inevitably come true of its own accord. What is the need for separately endeavoring anew for the same results? If one must engage in new endeavors, then they should be for Hari Bhajan. And yet I only consider those who induce me to seek happiness and sense pleasure to be my own kin. I never heed those who prohibit sense pleasures. Rather, presuming such people to be quite outside my own clan, I become their enemy. Translated from the Weekly Gaudiya, Year 9, Issue 7, September 1930. Wow, that was strong. All right, I want to read. There's one particular article. Let me see if I can find it. I really like it. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah, this one. Attaining welfare when sadhu sangha is far away. Okay, it's page 33. This one. The means of attaining welfare when sadhu sangha is far away. A letter by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura Prabhupada. This is written Shri Chaitanya Math, Shri Mayapur, 22nd December, 1927. In a letter published in Śrīla Prabhupada Patravali, the recipient was kept anonymous. Yesterday I received your letter from, and the name of the messenger is also kept anonymous. I also received a letter from you many days ago, even before I went to the western districts, but I could not reply to it in time due to my travels there. You can find out about the festivals and programs that were held in various places in the western districts by reading the Gaudiya magazine or by hearing from the devotees. Righteous people everywhere are becoming joyful and satisfied by hearing the message of Sriman Mahaprabhu. For the devotees of Bhagavan, Sri Navadvip Dham is a place of utmost reverence. Every place in this Dham awakens remembrance of Bhagavan within one's heart. For this reason, I especially desire to live here for a few more days. But according to what is necessary for the sake of service to Sri Hari, I shall have to travel to other places like Kolkata. Sriman Mahaprabhu is extremely merciful. He is therefore arranged that so many devotees are present even in a place like Kolkata. In Sri Gaudiya Math, Harikatha, discussion of Lord Hari, flows constantly, and everyone has become intoxicated by their intense engagement in service. It is most appropriate for me to thoroughly embrace such association for the rest of my life, like when Sri Parikshit Mahārāja heard Srimad Bhagavatam for the last days of his life. In these last days of my life, a place devoid of Harikatha, even if it were occupied by all my kith and kin and full of all material comforts, seems utterly undesirable to me. By the mercy of the Supreme Lord, seeing how the inclination to devotedly serve Bhagavan is present within all the mats, I constantly think of the benevolence of Sriman Mahaprabhu. I once spent my life preferring to drink the happiness that is derived from the objects of material sense perception. But today, wherever I go, I am able to serve Sri Bhagavan and gain the association of his devotees. By spending however many days we have left of our lives like this, we shall never live in misery by becoming averse to Sri Hari. You are not hearing enough Hari Katha from the lips of the devotees who are inclined towards serving Sri Bhagavan and who are wrapped in Hari Bhajan. Because of this, you do not appreciate your good fortune. However, the fact that you constantly remain inclined to serve Sri Hari keeps you aloof from a diverse association. When you are on your own, you should always read the Gaudiya and the devotional letters written by other Vaishnavas. This is the sentence I wanted to get to. This will, in itself, enable you to reap the benefit of listening to Hari Katha from the lips of the devotees.
Which skill do you want to enable?
Sorry. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. While living on this earth, we do not get the direct association of many devotees from the transcendental realm. But because the conversations and pastimes of the devotees who are present during the manifest pastimes of Sriman Mahaprabhu perpetually exist in the form of sacred texts, granthas, and sound vibration, shabda, or words, we do not feel so much pain in our worldly troubles. If in this world we live amidst the discussion and message of the transcendental world, our reflections on that message will keep us aloof from worldly pain. No matter where you find yourself, that divine Hari Katha will never abandon you. To be sure, you will even remember Bhagavan and comprehend the topic of Bhakti within all the things of this world. By the sublime will of the Lord, I may again have the opportunity to visit all these places in the western districts, and you would again get the chance to listen to Hari Katha. But it is certainly appropriate for a devotee to forget his misery and live in whatever condition Bhagavan is pleased to keep him in. The ordinary people of this material world cannot understand the divine message of Bhagavan, of Sriman Mahaprabhu, or of the transcendent nature of his qualities and pastimes, of the transcendent nature and qualities of his devotees. Only when the inclination to serve Bhagavan arises in one's heart can one remember Sri Hari under all circumstances. Since you are always endeavoring for your spiritual welfare, Bhagavan is manifesting all of his transcendental narrations, the message of Godhead, within your heart through the medium of the devotional literatures. It is written in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Jata deko Vaishnavera Vyavaharaduk, Nishcha Janiho She Parananda Sukh. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhikanda 9.240. Know this for certain. Whatever you may perceive as ordinary misery in a Vaishnava is in fact his greatest joy. So that he may test us, within this world, Bhagavan always remains hidden. Our superficial perception can only diminish by comprehending his presence underlying everything. Adapya she lila kore gorarai, kon bhagyavane dekhi pare pai. Even today, Gour Rai is performing his pastimes, but only a few most fortunate souls can see them. When will that most fortunate day come for us, when we will all become travelers on the path of Bhakti, following in the footsteps of Sri Gaur Sundar in every respect? This world is but a place where the Supreme Lord examines us. To excel in that examination, one must hear kirtan of Hari performed by his devotees. If you're hearing that kirtan through the medium of devotional literature, and you are hearing that kirtan through the medium of devotional literature, therefore, it is by no means appropriate for you to consider yourself deprived. Once, a long time ago, Hiranyakashipu declared everywhere that Bhagavan does not exist in this world. On many occasions, he brutally confronted his son, Prahlad, in an attempt to force him to accept this conclusion. But then Sri Nrsingadev emerged from within a pillar and generated spiritual welfare for Hiranyakashipu and the entire world. The devotees of the Lord perceive their Lord at all times and in all things, but those who are envious of him cannot even comprehend that he exists at all. We who are situated somewhere in between are sometimes inclined towards devotional service to Hari, but then the very next moment we absorb ourselves in sense gratification. Due solely to our desire to engage in devotional service, we will gradually escape our entanglement in all forms of material sense enjoyment. Fleeting happiness and distress is always present in mundane sense gratification. But devotional service, bhakti, which is eternal, gives bliss to Bhagavan. With the aim of giving that bliss to Bhagavan, we can remain perpetually engaged in his service. I am not sure whether or not you will get any instantaneous benefit by reading this detailed letter. My communication skills are extremely poor. Since I am not able to make everything understandable to everyone, I often remain silent. Here in Sri Chaitanya Mat, all the activities have begun that are necessary before the commencement of the festival. Your eternal well-wisher, Sri Siddhanta Sarasvatī. Translated from Śrīla Prabhupada Patrāvali. Yeah, so this is such a nice article, isn't it? I mean, letter. That we should never feel ourselves deprived because we have all this transcendental literature. And we can get the same benefit from reading the scriptures as we do from listening to sadhus, right? That's what he wrote there. To some extent, though, I don't think. Of course, if there's a sadhu there, it's much better to listen to Harikatha than to read. But yeah, you get the point. Okay, since there's so many other articles to read by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura, but since time is running away, I think, I'll read an article. I'm going to read an article by Srila Govinda Gosvāmī Mahārāja. I think it's called Simplicity and Faith. This is such a beautiful article. Did I forget to say Srila Govinda Gosvāmī Mahārāja's name in the Jaidvani? I think I did. Srila Gour Govinda Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai, Tatiya Shubhatiruba Titi ki jai. Okay. Gopal and the Schoolboy. Okay. How long is this article? Let's just see here. I think it's okay. You can read it. Gopal and the Schoolboy. A mother has a 6 or 7-year-old son. She wanted to admit him into primary school so that he could get some education.
8 o'clock.
But the school was a little far away, half a mile from their house. Still, she told the boy that he should go every day to the school in the morning. So the boy started going. On the path to the school, he had to pass through a jungle where there were some ferocious animals, tigers and snakes. Being a small child, he was afraid. He came to his mother and said, "Oh, mother, when I was going through that jungle on the way to school, I was very afraid. So many ferocious animals are there. I can't go anymore." His mother said, "Why are you afraid? Don't you know that your friend Gopal is there? Just call your friend. He will help you. You need not be afraid." "Oh, my friend is there?" "Yes. When you feel afraid, you should call out, 'Oh, my friend Gopal, I'm in a fearful situation. Where are you? Please come.' You should say like that." The child followed her instruction. When he was passing through the jungle and he felt afraid, he called out, "Friend Gopal, my brother Gopal, where are you? I'm in a fearful situation. Please come, help me." Gopal appeared before him. "Yes, I am here. Why are you afraid?" I have to go through the jungle to go to school, and it is full of ferocious animals. All right, don't fear, come with me. Every day Gopal was helping him. Note from Gopal. In Indian school, they perform Ganesh Puja and Saraswati Puja to give the students knowledge. For these festivals, the teacher will collect some fees from the students. One day at school, the teacher announced that they were going to have such a festival, and that the students should all pay some fee. But the boy and his mother were very poor. There was nobody in that family, only the mother and the son, and they had no money. The teacher told them, "You are poor. You don't have enough money, but you should at least bring 50 paisa, half of a rupee." The child returned home and told his mother that the teacher said that he had to pay 50 paisa for the festival. But they had nothing, not even a single paisa. The mother said, "Tell the teacher that we have no money. We are very poor, but we will bring milk." The child said, "Who will give us milk?" "Oh, your friend Gopal will give us milk. He tends cows. He can supply as much milk as your teacher wants. Yes, you tell Gopal." So that day in the forest, he called out to his friend, "Oh, Gopal, where are you?" "I am here," Gopal appeared. "What do you need?" "My teacher has said that I have to pay 50 paisa, but we have no money. My mother said to ask you to give us some milk because they still need milk for the festival. Because they need milk for the festival. So you must supply as much milk as they need." "Oh yes, I must supply. I am always here to help you." Later on the puja day, when he was passing through the jungle, he called his friend. "Gopal, today is the day. Please come." Gopal came with a small earthen pot filled with milk. "All right, take this milk. Give it to your teacher. This pot will give as much milk as they want. It will never be empty." The boy took it and gave it to the teacher. Seeing the small pot, the teacher said, "Oh, this is just a small amount of milk. We need a large amount, 10 buckets of milk. You have only brought a small pot." "No, no, no. It will never be empty. You bring 10 buckets and pour this pot out. All 10 buckets will be filled." The teacher did so, and amazingly, 10 buckets were filled. Then the teacher asked, "Where did you get such a pot?" "My friend Gopal gave it to me." "Your friend Gopal? Who is he?" "Oh, he stays in the jungle. Every time I need, I call him. My mother told me that whenever I am in a fearful situation, I should call out, 'Gopal, Gopal, oh brother, oh my friend Gopal.' And then he appears. He helps me, protects me, and leads me to school. He gave this pot of milk. He says that he is a friend to one and all." Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 5:29, "Suhridam sarvabhutanam." I am the only well-wishing friend of all living entities. He says he is not only my friend, he is a friend to one and all. If one calls, he is there ready to help him in time of danger, in time of need, in time of calamities. Why doesn't Gopal come to you? Such a simple child gets help from Krishna, but you are all worrying. He is worrying, she is worrying. What shall I do? What shall I do? I need so much money. How can I do it? I cannot collect. I have to do this thing. I have to do that thing. I have so many problems, so many hindrances, so many obstacles. Why don't you ask Gopal? Gopal is ready to help you, but you are not asking him. If you are asking, then why is Gopal not coming? You say, yes, I am asking, oh Krishna, please help me, please help me. But Krishna is not coming and helping me. Gopal immediately appeared before that small child. Why can't you get Gopal's help? Why doesn't Gopal come to you? What is the difficulty? What is the reason? It's because you have no faith in Gopal, no faith in Krishna. It is a question of faith. That small child had strong faith. As soon as his mother told him, he put strong and unflinching faith in her words, and he got Krishna. But you do not have faith. Now in America, Many people have lost faith. And his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.4.15, Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī says, Adau Shraddha, the first thing is unflinching faith. Similarly, Krishna says in Gita 4.39, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tat parasam yatendriya jnanam labdha param shantim achiren nadigachati. I think I just heard somebody call my name from downstairs. Oh, shoot. Anyways, he calls my name again, I'll go. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who's... Okay, one second. Person's calling me again. Hare Krishna? Oh. Alright, wasn't calling me. Sorry. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains supreme spiritual peace. What do we mean by Shraddha? Rupa Gosvāmī says that the first thing is Shraddha. Following that comes other things. Shraddha means strong, unflinching faith. Bhajante mam dhrida vrata. Those who have faith, they do bhajan with determination. Strong faith in what? Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya. Faith in what Sadhu says, what Guru says, what Shastra says, what Krishna says. Narottam Das Thakur's Prem Bhakti Chandrika 110. You should put strong, unflinching faith in what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said, Vishvasa mile Krishna tarke bahu dur. If one has faith, then he can easily obtain Krishna, and arguments or doubts stay far away. Why depressed and disappointed? If you have strong faith, you will get Krishna. You have faith, but it is not strong. It is soft faith, komal shraddha. At any time, it can break, and you will feel yourself disappointed, depressed. Why such feelings? Why disappointed? Why depressed? Because you do not have strong faith in Krishna. You have no faith in Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya. You have lost faith. Therefore, you feel disappointed and depressed. Faith is the most important thing. It has been stressed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and all of our acharyas have said it. Rupa Gosvāmī says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that everything begins with Shraddha. Adau Shraddha tatha sarusanga tapajana kriya tato nartana vritti sat tato nishta ruchis tata atta shaktis tato bhavas tato prema pitan chanti sadakanam ayam premna pradur bhave bhavet krama. First comes Shraddha, faith. Next, Sarusanga, association with saintly persons. After that, Bhajana Kriya, spiritual practices. Then Ananartana Vritti, cessation of all offenses or obstacles. Next, Nishta, firmness, which is followed by Ruchi, taste. After that, Asakti, attachment. Then Bhav, and then appears Prem. These are the different stages leading to Prem's appearance within the heart of a spiritual practitioner. It is a gradual process. Mahaprabhu said the same thing. Ucha Sankirtane Kori Shraddhara Prachar. Loudly chant the holy names and preach with faith. When my Guru Mahārāja came to the West, what did he have with him? Only strong faith in Krishna, strong faith in the words of his Guru, strong faith in the holy name. He had nothing else. It is a question of strong faith in Gopal. But people are lacking faith. You should develop strong faith. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 2262 states, Shraddha Shabde Vishvaskohe Sudrida Nishchoy Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Shraddha is defined as confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. Chant loudly. If you develop Krishna Bhakti, all of your duties and obligations are finished. You are thinking, this is my duty, my responsibility, to look after the maintenance of my family, my wife, and my children. But it is said, Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva karma krita hoy. All of your work is finished. Everyone says this, but they are only speaking from the lips. In their heart, 99.9% people have no faith. Therefore, Gauranga Mahaprabhu has said, Ucha Sankirtane Kori Shadhara Prachar. Chant loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Inculcate Shraddha, faith, unto those people who have not developed Shraddha. My Guru Mahārāja did that. When he first arrived here and came with only a pair of kartals, he simply went to a park and chanted Hare Krishna. The hippies were rolling on the ground, half naked, taking strong drugs like LSD and marijuana, and becoming mad. My Guru Mahārāja just played kartals and chanted, and thereby he inculcated Shraddha in them. Chora Vesha Sat, the thieves, the prostitutes, and the cheaters. Sadhu is able to inculcate Shraddha even into them. That is Mahaprabhu's instruction. Agre Shraddha Diya. First inculcate Shraddha unto them. Then, when they are Shraddhavan, when they have developed Shraddha, strong faith in the holy name, strong faith in Krishna, and Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya, then they are eligible to be initiated. There is the offense to the holy name known as Shraddha Hina Jane Nam Upadesh, giving someone Nam Upadesh, instructions on chanting, if they are lacking in Shraddha. So, Agre Shraddha, first one must have Shraddha. How can one develop Shraddha? That is another question. For this reason, we perform loud Sankirtan. Doing so, you can develop Shraddha. Don't feel depressed or disappointed. Mahaprabhu is there. Krishna is there. Srila Prabhupada is there. Chant loudly and fill the atmosphere with transcendental sound vibration. You should have full faith in the holy name, in Gopal, in Krishna, and in Mahaprabhu. Don't feel depressed at any time, under any circumstances. There is no question of pessimism in Mahaprabhu's movement. There is all optimism. I love this. I've seen during my tour that now this pessimism is widespread amongst the devotees in America. Seeing that, I feel very sorry. I am crying in my heart. What has happened? My Guru Maharaj came here first. He sowed the seed here. Now what has happened? They have lost faith. Such a sorry state of affairs. How is it that a small boy immediately developed faith and got Krishna? He cried out, "Oh Gopal, where are you? My mother has said to call you." And immediately Gopal appeared. The determination of Dhruva. Dhruva Maharaj was also a small child, a 5-year-old boy. When he inquired from his mother Suniti, she told him, "Narayan is there. If you get the mercy of Lord Narayan, then all of your desires will be fulfilled." Dhruva said, "Yes, Lord Narayan, where is he?" Suniti said, "I have heard that the saints and sages go to the forest to get him." Dhruva said, "Oh, I must go and get him." He was only a 5-year-old boy, but he had such determination. Later, Narad Muni told him, "The forest is a very dangerous place. There are many fearful, ferocious animals here, tigers, lions, and snakes. You are a small boy. What can you do here?" Dhruva said, No, my mother said that Narayan is there. I must go and find him." Dhruva wouldn't hear any discussion. He was so strong and determined. Therefore, his name is Dhruva. Dhruva means determined. His determination never shakes. Rupa Gosvāmī therefore says in Upadeshamrita text 3, "Utsahan nishtaya dharyat tat karma pravartanat sangha tyagat sato vritte sarvir bhaktir prasiddhati." One can execute the process of bhakti yoga successfully with full-hearted enthusiasm, perseverance, and determination by following the prescribed duties in the association of devotees and engaging completely in activities of goodness. Rupa Gosvāmī, Mahajan Acharya, says one must have utsaha, enthusiasm, and nishchaya, determination. Yes, I am determined to achieve this thing. I must achieve it. Dhruva had that kind of determination, but also dhairya. You must have patience. Don't lose patience. The strong determination and strong faith is most important. Nothing is impossible. Krishna is always there to help you. He is there in your heart. He will test how strong your faith is in him. He will test how strong your faith is in him. Your faith is shaking. It is not strong. How determined are you? Krishna creates everything. His will is supreme. By his mere desire, creation, maintenance, and destruction take place. We are simply dependent on his will. Bhaktivinoda says in Sharanagati 347, Tomar ichai achi nirbhara koriya. I am completely dependent on your will, O Krishna. So Krishna says, okay, I will test your faith to see if you are really completely dependent on my will. But you are lacking faith, and Krishna knows. Oh, he has no faith. He only speaks from the lips. In his heart, he has no faith. Everything takes place according to the will of Krishna. If he doesn't will, a blade of grass will not shake. So it is a question of faith. But why do we lack faith? Dhruva immediately put strong faith. He was not afraid of any situation. Where is that Narayan? Where is Narayan? The example is there. The example is also there in the story about the young boy and Gopal. But we can't put faith. What is the reason? Why are these small children able to have faith, but adults cannot? It is because you are crooked and they are simple. A child is very simple, but as soon as he grows up and associates with adults, those who are very crooked, he develops crookedness. Otherwise, in the beginning, a child is very simple. Simplicity is Vaishnavism. All of our acharyas have said this. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī stresses on this. Saralata hi Vaishnavata. Simplicity is Vaishnavism. Real Vaishnavas are as simple as a child. There is no question of crookedness, duplicity, or pretentiousness in them. But our heart is full of these things. We are not at all simple-hearted persons. We are very crooked. Duplicity, crookedness, and pretentiousness are in you. But Krishna is in your heart. He knows what is in you. You cannot cheat him. Therefore, we say that Sadhu, Guru, Mahajan are Patit Pavan, not Kapati Pavan. They are saviors of the fallen, not saviors of the crooked. Some persons say, shall I just have blind faith? Shall I not think anything? Shall I not apply my intelligence, my deliberation? Should I just put blind faith in whatever sadhu and shastra say? They say, we have our own intelligence. We must think very seriously before we can accept. How can you deliberate on what Krishna says, what Shastra says, what the Mahājans say? They have no defects. You are a conditioned soul with 4 defects. Brahm, tendency to commit mistakes. Pramada, tendency to be illusions. Pralipsa, tendency to cheat. And Paranapata, perfect senses. Your senses are defective. The thoughts in your mind are defective. What you perceive through your senses is defective. There is no sadhu present. Oh, we have been cheated so many times. Now we won't put faith anymore in anyone. No sadhus are there. We won't see any sadhu. Can you see a sadhu? Do you have the vision to see a sadhu? You are a conditioned soul. You have defective vision. How can you see a sadhu? You have developed this motto, seeing is believing. You say, if I see, then I will believe. Can you show me? Can you show me the Lord? Then I will believe. But you are not prepared to admit that you are blind. You have no vision to see the Lord. Even if I show you the Lord, how can you see without vision? You are not prepared to admit your shortcoming. You are such a crooked, pretentious, duplicitous person. You are always trying to hide your defects. You are not prepared to admit him. This is proof that you are not at all simple. You are a crooked person. Be simple. If you just once say with an open heart, Krishna, I am yours, then immediately Krishna will accept you. He is there in your heart, but you can't cry out to him. Your heart is filled with such filth, such duplicity and crookedness. You are never simple, and Krishna knows it. This is the reason why you cannot develop strong faith. Now you want to see sadhu. You say, we don't see any sadhus. There are no sadhus. If there is no sadhu, then how are things going on? This is Kali Yuga, the most sinful and degraded age. Still, there is ekapad dharma, one-legged religion. Therefore, things are continuing. Otherwise, everything would have been finished, destroyed. In Satya Yuga, dharma had 4 legs. In Treta Yuga, 3 legs were there. In Dwapara Yuga, 2 legs were there. And in Kali Yuga, there is one leg. Because this one leg of Dharma is present, things are going on, and we are all here. The holy name came. This is the Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga. But we have no faith, no belief in it. We are such crooked persons. We have no simplicity. We only speak with the lips while someone else We only speak with the lips while something else is in the heart. This simplicity is Vaishnavism. It is the only thing required. Make your heart simple. Drive out, throw out all this filth, crookedness, duplicity, and pretentiousness, and immediately you will get Krishna. Krishna emphasizes this Shraddha in many places in the Gita. Chapter 4, text 29 states, Shraddhaval lavate jnanam. A faithful person quickly obtains transcendental knowledge. In chapter 9, text 3, Krishna states, Ashradhadana purusha aprapya mam nibartate mrityu sansara vartamani. Those who have no Shraddha, no faith, cannot approach me. Again and again they will fall down here to this mrityu sansara, this world of death. Sadhus have no defects. Those who have vision, they see and they say, Arya Vigya Vakya Nahi Dosha Chatushtai. The words of the Mahājans, the sadhus, are free from the 4 defects. Why don't you put unflinching faith in their words? You say, I must think about it first. I must deliberate on what they say. If I'm convinced, then I will apply it. This is all duplicity, crookedness, lack of faith. You are not prepared to admit that you have 4 defects. Your senses are defective. How can you see? You think, I am the seer. I will see. But you are not the seer. You have defective vision. How can you see a sadhu who is free from defects and exists on the transcendental platform? He is in the 4th dimension. You are limited to 3 dimensions, length, breadth, and height. How can your material mind conceive the 4th dimension? Then how can you say, if I see, only then I will accept? Nonsense! Such nonsense! You can only act on faith, nothing else. In the story I told, the mother instructed and the child put faith in her words. The mother is authority and the child is simple. Sadhu, Mahajan, and Shastra are authority. But if you have no faith in them, how can you get Krishna? Faith is the most important thing. Even if you put blind faith, still you will be delivered, and because Sadhu Mahājans are free from defects. What they say is real truth. Mahajan je kohe she satyamani. Suppose you put blind faith in Sadhu's words and you go to hell. Then Sadhu Mahajan will go to hell to deliver you. But by your manipulations, politics, and duplicity, even if you elevate yourself to the position of Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, you will fall from there and you cannot be delivered by Sadhu Mahajan. Only one who is very simple immediately puts strong, unflinching faith, immediately surrenders, and immediately is accepted by Krishna. That is what is needed. Simplicity is Vaishnavism, but we are lacking that thing. You should take example from Mahājans like Rupa and Sanatana Gosvāmī. How simple they are. Once a very puffed up, proud pundit came to see them. He was traveling everywhere, challenging and trying to defeat others. That pundit came to Sanatana Gosvāmī and Rupa Gosvāmī and said, you debate with me. If I am victorious, then you will have to sign a certificate of defeat. And if I am victorious, then you will sign a certificate of defeat. And if you defeat me, then I will sign a certificate that says you have defeated me. Rupa and Sanatana immediately said, no, we will give you a certificate. Please go. That is simplicity. Jad Bharat and the dacoits. Jad Bharat was also simple in this way. A group of dacoits were searching for a nice human to be sacrificed. A group of dacoits were searching for a nice human being to sacrifice so that Kali would be pleased and they could get a benediction from her. They found Jad Bharat sitting in a cornfield. He was very strong, stout, and good-looking. They thought he would be very nice for sacrifice. Jad Bharat was like a madman, dumb and callous like an animal. Just like a butcher taking an animal to the slaughterhouse, the dacoits took him to be sacrificed. Jad Bharat went with no protest, just like a simple child. He was such an elevated Paramahamsa. The dacoits bathed him and put new clothes on him. They put vermilion on his forehead. Then they asked him, "Please bow down here." Like a simple child, he did what they asked. Then they raised a sword to cut off his head. Kali is a Vaishnava, a maidservant of Krishna. Seeing their activity, she said, "What are these dacoits doing?" Kali suddenly came out from the deity with a sword in her hand and chopped off the heads of those dacoits, and Jada Bharat was saved. Nevertheless, you are thinking, shall I put faith blindly? Shall I not think about it? Shall I not deliberate on it? You are saying like that because you have no faith. Because duplicity and crookedness is there in your heart, you are not simple. One who is very simple is really surrendered. He is a real sadhu and he is protected. This simplicity is lacking in you. You think, I will see, but you are not the seer. Krishna is the seer. Sadhu is the seer. You are to be seen. But you are thinking just the opposite. I will be the seer, and the sadhu will be seen. What is this nonsense? They are the seer. Krishna is the seer. Sadhu is the seer. You have to be seen. When they cast their merciful glance on you, then your good fortune arises. You'll become fortunate, Saubhagya. But you are thinking, I am the seer. Just the opposite. That's the whole problem. Nothing else. Questions. Devotee. How can someone develop simplicity? Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj. Associates with a simple sadhu, as I described by Guru Maharaj, how he came and inculcated faith. And why are you lacking faith now? Because you are not associating with sadhus. You say, we cannot see sadhu. There are no sadhus present now. That is the whole trouble with you. Devotee. But if we are duplicitous in the heart, then we will be blind and won't be able to see who is a sadhu. So how can we associate with sadhus if we do not know who is a sadhu? Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj. Therefore I say, even if a sadhu comes, because you are blind, you have no faith in him. You want to be the seer, so you cannot get any benefits. You cannot associate. If a sadhu comes and chants here, speaks Krishna Katha, it will never enter your ear. You cannot get any benefits. You don't do sadhu sangha at all. Although you come and sit here, you are just posing. You are just pretending. You're such a pretender. Because you have no faith, the sadhu's katha will never enter your ear. Thus, you cannot get any benefit. Just pretending. Sitting for 10 or 15 minutes, then getting up and going out. Why is this? Because you have no faith. You are not simple. You want to be the seer, but you are not the seer. That's the whole trouble. Devotee. So, I should just give it up? Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj. Yes, give up everything. Just throw it out. Throw it out. Make your heart clean and open. Jesus Christ said, empty thyself. I will fill thee. But you are not emptying. Your heart is full to the brim with crookedness, duplicity, and enviousness, all nasty things. How can he fill you? There is no space. Empty yourself. Throw it out. Then you will get. From an evening program in Lansing, Michigan on 28 October 1991. Wow, that was powerful. I love Śrīla Govinda Goswami Maharaj's Katha. Yeah, isn't it so good? Okay, so now it is 8:30 a.m. I wanted to read more. I wanted to read something about Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura, but it's starting to get late now. I don't know, let's see. Let's see one. Maybe we can read. What's this one? Yeah, I think it's getting late. I'm gonna end now, and maybe later on I'll read more. One second. What's this article? Okay, let's read this one by Srila Gosvāmī because it's short. It's O Merciful Śrīla Prabhupada. It's his prayer day. O Merciful Śrīla Prabhupada, written on the occasion of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura's disappearance day on 21 December 1957. You are compassionate to all souls. O my most worshipable and merciful Śrīla Prabhupada, today, on your auspicious disappearance day, you are being glorified everywhere from all directions. Those who are praising you are extremely fortunate, for you have bestowed your favor upon them. You even shower your compassion indirectly upon those who do not glorify you. As the very embodiment of mercy, you exude nothing but compassion, though not everyone is able to receive it equally on account of his particular destiny. This does not imply that you are partial. In Bhagavad Gita 4.11, Sri Krishna affirms, Yatha mang prapadyante tang tataiva bhajamyaham. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. You have properly safeguarded the integrity of this verse. Through your exemplary behavior, you have preserved the veracity of Sri Krishna's statement in Bhagavad Gita 9.29, Samoham sarvabhuteshu, I am equal to all beings. Without being perturbed, you would appropriately punish even those who prided themselves in being your especially intimate servants. That chastisement is actually nothing but your mercy and demonstrates your magnanimity. You embody the mood of separation. Śrīla Prabhupada, everything you do is in fact full of mercy. You mercifully appeared in this world. You mercifully remained visible to our material eyes for some time. And now, by your mercy, you have again become unmanifest to the materially conditioned living beings. These three actions share the same purpose, to bestow mercy. This is your sole aim. Even today, you are not in any way depriving the living entities by remaining concealed from their vision. You are thoroughly acquainted with what is beneficial for the jiva, and in what proportion. The materially conditioned living entity, however, cannot comprehend the manner in which you bestow your mercy. Sri Krishna allowed the gopis to taste the bliss of union, and then revealed his limitless mercy by drowning them in an ocean of separation from him. Your behavior is identical to Krishna's, for it displays the same unbounded mercy. If Sri Krishna had remained with the gopis forever, the conditioned souls would surely have been delighted. But the most merciful Sri Krishna said, Yat tvaham bhavati nam vai dure varte priyo drisham manasa sanikarshartam mar anudhyana kamyaya. Yata dura chare prishte mana avishya vartate strinam cha na tatha cheta sannikrishte kshigochare. Maya vesha mana kritsnam vimukta-shesha vrittiyat anusmarayanto mam nityam achiran mam upayashyata. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-36. The actual reason why I, the treasured object of your sight, have stayed far away from you is that I wanted to capture your minds and draw them closer to me. When a woman's lover is far away, she thinks of him more than when the person is present before her. Your minds are fully absorbed in me, forsaking all else, and you always remember me. Therefore, you will be reunited with me very soon. O Srila Prabhupada, your devotees who are absorbed in constantly remembering you with feelings of separation attain the state of mam upayashyata, reunion with you. This is an example of your immense mercy. A meeting that does not culminate in separation is not truly a meeting at all. Union ends with separation, and separation with union. Love and rupture have the same import. This teaching has come from your own lotus lips. As such, you are bestowing your grace upon your devotees today by revealing yourself as an embodiment of the mood of separation. O merciful Srila Prabhupada, your form is composed of Satchidananda, spiritual existence, knowledge, and bliss. Your disciples have heard from your own lotus mouth that the materially conditioned souls can never glimpse your transcendental form. Only liberated souls receive your darshan. In trying to see you, conditioned souls merely perceive an image of you reflected in the material mode of goodness. Nevertheless, you have showed your endless mercy upon those who are attracted by this image. You have made it known to them that all the followers of Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, all the Rupanugas, are grieving in separation from their worshipful deity. Your sole objective is service in that same mood. You embody the nectarian ocean of Vipralimba, feelings of separation from Krishna, and you have shown your compassion by propagating service and separation, Vipralamba Seva. You are uncompromising in upholding the truth. O merciful Srila Prabhupada, you cannot actually be introduced in terms of material time, place, and historical events, and therefore I am not interested in doing so. You are free from all material qualities and have in all ways revealed and preached unalloyed transcendental devotion characterized by separation. You are entirely intolerant of any material doctrine. Therefore, you have manifested your mercy by refuting Mayavad, the doctrine of illusion, through your sovereign-like writings, which are rich in the conclusions of the scriptures, and through your speaking, which is as grave and as loud as thunder. O merciful Srila Prabhupada, you never pandered to the materialists. Rather, you terrified them like death personified. Hearing your lion-like roar proclaiming the principles and conclusions of devotion, the fruit of workers hid deep in their burrows like fearful jackals. Your valor upholder of the truth, is testimony to the limitless mercy you have shown for the living entities. Your valor, as an upholder of the truth, is testimony to the limitless mercy you have for the living entities. O generous Srila Prabhupada, no desire other than that to serve Sri Krishna was ever present in your character. You are a brahmachari, unmarried celibate since childhood, and later manifested the pastime of accepting sannyas, the renounced order. Thus, you have firmly established the principle that it is extremely difficult to achieve the ultimate goal of life if one is fond of associating with women. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Ṭhākura writes, Ramani jana sangha sukham chasake charama bhayatam purushartha haram. O friends, the pleasure to be had in the company of beautiful young women ultimately turns to fearfulness and distracts one from the true goal of human life. And of course, it's the other way around for women to associate with men. You have shown limitless mercy by living up to the ideal portrayed in these words of your spiritual master. O merciful Lord, your conceptions are forever divine, and the religious conventions convened to discuss various pertinent issues, you invalidated the concept of demoniac varnashram and established divine varnashram, Daivi varnashram. By a transcendental power, you overcame the fierce opposition. As a result, your sincere servants have been following that system of divine varnashram to this day. This divine triumph of yours displays your great compassion. O merciful Srila Prabhupada, you have condemned the concept that matter and spirit are identical, as well as the ideas of the Prakrit Sahajas, and thereby illuminated the nature of supremely pure devotional service. Had you not appeared on this earth, who would have cleansed the heaps of impurities that entered the Prem Dharma, the religion of unadulterated love, propagated by Sriman Mahaprabhu, and who would have revealed its pure message? Who would have distributed the beauty of devotional service in the mood of separation given by Sriman Mahaprabhu to the world? O Prabhu, there is no end to your mercy. I humbly pray at your lotus feet. O merciful Master, on this day of your disappearance, may the remembrance of your mercy become my life and soul. How far can an insignificant and wretched soul like me touch upon your immeasurable compassion? Even the demigods cannot adequately sing its glories. Nonetheless, I will be blessed if one day I can be fortunate enough to serve the lotus feet of one of your servants, thereby connecting with your mercy. Today, on your disappearance day, I humbly pray at your lotus feet that I may not become degraded by committing any offenses, and that I may eternally remain engaged in the service of the servants of your servants. Translated from Sri Gaudiya Patrika, Year 8, Issue 11, 1957. So this was written during the time of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura. So Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura, my Param Guru, he must have been so happy with this offering of his dear Śrīla Gosvāmī Maharaj. All right, I'm going to end here. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharva Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishma Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishma Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishma Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishma Śrīla Bhakti. So and spaced out. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishma Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Tatiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi Ki Jai. Titi Palankari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitil Vishnu Mahabhagavat Śrīla Gokshara Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. Nitil Vishnu Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupana Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Jeev Gopal Patadash Raghunath Sharad Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shiva Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Kshetra Mandal, Gaura Mandal, Vaja Mandal, Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Bharati Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Ki Jai. Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishma Śrīla Gaur Govinda Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Gaur. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Krishna Jai. Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranam. Hari Bol.